Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, April 16th. I'm John Weigell here with Rob Litterst, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. As a result of tariffs and other economic policies, the U.S. is currently experiencing a bit of a tourism drop, and the outlook isn't looking good. The multi-trillion-dollar American tourism industry is facing some steep declines in travel from around the world. So what countries are avoiding the U.S. like the plague, and how will the travel decline affect the hospitality industry? We'll chat about all that in a bit, but first, let's give the news in business and tech. To start us off today, Uber and Waymo's robotaxi ride-hailing service is revving up in Atlanta this summer. The company's opened a wait list for interested customers, and the service will cover 65 square miles of the city to start. So, Rob, what do you make of Uber and Waymo moving to the East Coast, moving to Atlanta?
This is wild. I was just in Austin, and I actually did take some Waymos while I was in Austin.
Oh, how'd it feel?
It was awesome. It was so easy.
Ooh.
And felt super safe. I was shocked at how safe it felt. And I was really surprised, like my friends in Austin had never taken one before. I took two while I was down there. And it really felt like they were prioritizing the Waymos over other drivers.
Oh.
Because like it was the first option for me multiple times. And the first time my wife told me not to do it. But then she was like, all right, if you want to try it, you can try it. And so I did it, and then I did it again because it was so much fun the first time. But
wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Big fan.
Was there any difference for you in terms of cost versus like a regular Uber? Was it the same cost, just no driver?
I think it was the same cost, just like no tip. Like you don't have to tip.
Yeah, that was my follow-up. The next question, is there an option for tip?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it. It's the same, but no tip, which, not going to lie, pretty nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. You got to wonder what's going to happen to all the Uber drivers and taxi drivers out there. We did a bit of a story on the Uber Lyft duopoly a little while ago in the newsletter. So yeah, Waymo's doing pretty well right now. They're expanding.
No doubt.
All right, next here, the FTC's antitrust suit with Meta started on Monday. And one of the biggest findings from it was that Meta revealed that in 2025, only 7% of time spent on Instagram is actually spent viewing content from friends, which means we've effectively taken the social out of social media. From there, we go on to Starbucks. Starbucks introduced a new dress code that requires baristas to wear a solid black top and a black khaki or blue denim bottoms with their signature green aprons. The more refined color palette, quote, is meant to help the apron, introduced in 1987, shine. Rob, this is so funny that I'm hearing this message because this is exactly what I thought the uniform was. I don't know
me too.
How different this is than what I've been seeing every time I've been to a Starbucks.
I'm so confused here because this is literally what I thought the dress code has been at Starbucks all along. But hey, cool kind of PR opportunity, I guess, to get people rallying around the green apron.
Yeah, I guess there must have been just one guy in a Starbucks in New York here that walked in with a tie-dye shirt one day, and that must have set something off. So
there you go.
I haven't seen it. Speaking of tie-dye and fun colors, we're going to Coachella. Around 60% of the general admission ticket holders of Coachella this year use the event's payment plan, according to Billboard. A 3-day general admission ticket starts at $649, big yikes, up from $429 in 2020. And it doesn't include lodging, transportation, or concessions. For the Buy Now, Pay Later plan, though, concert goers pay a $41 upfront fee, an amount that could generate millions with nearly 100,000 attendees expected this year. Rob, the Buy Now, Pay Later is coming for festivals now. And at that price, I mean, I don't mind it, actually.
Seriously, I went to Coachella in 2010 when I was about to graduate college. And I had like zero money. And it literally was like I saved up for it the entire semester. And I 100% would have used Buy Now, Pay Later for Coachella if I could have, because it left me cash strapped for the rest of my semester. But this is wild. And I think it's going to lead to some pretty irresponsible decisions, for being honest here. Would be shocked if it didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, not surprised here.
Yeah, not surprised at this at all, especially with that price. But I am surprised, Rob, that you got to go to a pretty sick Coachella, because I just pulled up the artist list and you got to see Jay-Z, LCD Sound System, Muse, Gorillaz. Pretty good year.
It was a great year, man. It was a blast. Cannot recommend doing that enough when you're in those young years.
Oh, that's great. And finally, some airline news here. American Airlines is making Wi-Fi free on most of its flights starting in 2026 for American Airlines Advantage loyalty customers only. Previously, American charged up to $29 for Wi-Fi for a single flight. So at least they're opening up to some more people for free. American Airlines might offer some free Wi-Fi, but is it enough to prevent a tourist tailspin? Because reports are circulating of a steep drop in America's tourism industry, with a couple countries leading the charge and holding their travel plans for a while. So, Rob, let's dive into some data.
Okay, so data released this week from the International Trade Association shows that arrivals of non-citizens to the United States by plane have declined by over 11% since March of 2024, which I think reasonably has a lot of economists feeling alarmed.
Yeah, so that's a big drop year over year, 11%. Hearing from airlines, expecting that to go down even further in the coming few months. But where are we feeling it from the most? What countries are really not interested to visit anymore?
One of the biggest is actually our neighbors in the north. So Canadians returning from visits to the US by plane went down 32% year over year in March, while air arrivals dropped by over 13%.
Wow.
The US Travel Association projected that even a 10% drop in Canadian tourism could lead to a $2 billion loss and put about 140,000 jobs in the hospitality industry in jeopardy. But that's just the teaser.
Ooh.
The biggest declines have come from Western Europe, which registered a 17% year over year decrease in arrivals by plane.
Wow.
Luxembourg residents stayed away in droves, leading the way with a 44% decline. Denmark, Austria, and Iceland not far behind there. And lastly, international arrivals from China were also down nearly 1%, according to the U.S. National Travel and Tourism Office.
Wow. So a lot of different places pulling back. Not very surprised at Western Europe, given their mass tourism. But Canada, I think the data that you read up top about Canada leading to about a $2 billion loss potentially is crazy. I honestly didn't think that we got that many visits from our friends up north. But maybe that's just me not thinking about this in its totality, because that's a big number. And this could be a big problem if it goes on for quite a while. And thanks, by the way, to Quartz and The Guardian for this information that we've been reading off so far. But what do you make of that decline, Rob, just from all these different places, Canada, Europe, and of course, China? I expected that to be even more.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I would not expect these numbers to go up anytime soon, just given the recent tariff introductions. I know we've rolled a few of those back, but I would think that that would make, foreign travelers even less likely to come visit the United States. I also was super surprised by those numbers around Canada. I had absolutely no idea that we were driving so much business from Canadians visiting the United States. The US has a huge tourism business.
Yeah.
We bring in over $2 trillion in tourism. The decline means it could potentially lead to a huge shift in the job market.
Mm-hmm.
Global chains like Hilton are seeing share prices decline, and airlines like Delta, American, and United are continuing to lower their projections. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
On the upside, the dollar is starting to weaken against sterling, the euro, Japanese yen, and the Swiss franc, which could make travel to the US more attractive. So there is a little bit of an arbitrage opportunity there with currencies.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I don't know. It's kind of a grim time when it comes to international visitors.
It is. And I guess we got to wonder how airlines will be affected because, you and I talked about this last week. So this is kind of a follow-up to that because we talked about airlines that are lowering their projections that you just mentioned.
Totally.
And with that, given that less people are traveling internationally now, maybe less people will be traveling domestically because they want to kind of save a little money. So airlines got to be squirming right about now.
Totally.
From both sides.
Oh, if I were an airline, I would be squirming in my seat, John, for sure.
My coach non-premium seat all the way in the back by the bathroom. Yeah, completely.
Surrounded by 2 kids who won't stop crying. Yeah, that's my seat.
That's my seat. Yep, that's the one I always get. But I mean, we'll have to see just how this goes over time. And the projections are pretty down. I can't wait to see the numbers for April, given that, March to March was before a lot of this tariff stuff even took effect. And especially in the next 80-something days, we'll see kind of how this affects the overall industry. I mean, you got to imagine it'll only get worse, but time will tell.
Totally. I hope we jump on here in a month and everything's gotten better, but I don't know. I'm not super optimistic, John.
Yeah, hope so too. All right, and that'll do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of HubSpot Media. Our editor is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We've got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed, go sign up at thehustle.co/email and follow us on Instagram at The Hustle Daily, and we will see you tomorrow.